Hello.
Hey.
We're going to be plagued by flies.
And it's very humid today. It's a bit hazy, but it's extremely humid. So, a bit miserable.
Yeah.
We're in like this really obscure little place next to the road. You'll hear some traffic coming by. But we were scouting out where Simon's interview is tomorrow. And put it in Google Maps to see on there, to see what it showed. And he's like, are you sure it's up through here? Because it took us through this really twisty, windy, little one-way type thing. I mean, one moment we're in city, and then the next it's like we're in country.
Yeah.
I mean, no transition whatsoever. So it was quite interesting. So much so that we went back and did a video. And of course, I'm still in the glasses, but eyes getting better, so I don't know when I'll switch back to the contacts. Still giving it a bit of time. Although it does kind of mess with me a bit because I have no depth perception with these. So I'm missing steps sometimes when I start to go up and there's no side. But it is quite funny when it's running, you know, because these are bifocals as well, because, you know, the whole getting old business, you know, gray hair, bifocals, shaking hands from the other day, last night on the video. Yeah, age. It sucks. I mean, it's cool in one way, but it sucks in another. But my habit is to go sit in the sea after my run to kind of cool down and wash off a bit. So, and it's just really neat. The sun come up over the boats and all that, just sitting there taking it in. Looked down and happened to notice all these like little sandy colored fish kind of gathering around my feet, and then all of a sudden they kind of start nibbling at my toes. Which people pay money for that. So, and there I was getting it for free, so that was kind of cool. And it was really cool right up until the point one of the smaller ones took a big chunk out, and at that point it's like, okay, that's enough. No more fishy pedicure. What's your story?
No, I was just impressed with those fish we saw eating that bread yesterday.
Oh, that was so cool. If you haven't seen the video already, you need to go see it, because the fish, somebody had thrown in a slice of bread into the water, and they had eaten out the middle already, but they were flopping over it and jumping over it and just
Well, when I first saw it, there was hardly a hole in it.
Yeah.
By the time I actually thought, I should switch the video camera on, I actually had a good chunk of that slice. That was amazing.
It was almost like a piranha feeding frenzy, only with bread. And our burger pie video seems to be the most popular one.
Yeah, what's up with you people? What's wrong with you? What's going on with this burger pie business? You know, I've stopped eating them because, well, you know, I've had to move to grapes now.
Well, that, and you got a Woody. That's not like it sounds.
Well, you know, like
it's
the
a
wiener.
Woody with cheese.
They now do a Woody here, which is exactly the same kind of thing, a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also have a Woody with cheese. I think I might have. Did I mention that on the video the other day?
I don't know.
I might have edited that
Yeah.
out. But Woody with cheese wrapped in pastry.
Yeah, another that's what she said moment.
Yeah, it's a bit like a toad in a hole.
So I just get a laugh out of it being called the Woody, and it's spelled W-U-D-Y. So
there's no mistaking.
Yes, that's something that's
Quad
very
bikes,
interesting about here and on the UK as well. The quad bikes are all tagged up and licensed up, so you can ride them on the road.
Yeah.
And you actually have to get a driving license for it. Yeah. So I think that's...
Oh, okay.
I think you do.
Okay.
I don't know. But the licensing them up for them on that, I think that's something, especially with the... There was somebody that had... The son of somebody I'd gone to high school with that had... Their son died recently in a quad bike accident over in the States. And unfortunately, that happens quite often there. So that really should... That's something there that needs to be addressed with the safety and regulation on that. No, don't get me wrong. I'm more libertarian, so I kind of believe the fewer laws, the better. But at the same time, I do think there needs to be some kind of licensing and training and stuff, other than, here, hold my beer, watch this.
Well, yeah, because some quad bikes are so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the thing is, a quad bike shouldn't be able to rear up when you let the clutch out, not ever. And off-road, there's a problem. The wheelbase is not wide enough because the centre of gravity is too high.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, these things can do amazing things, and farmers, it's the modern day horse, the mule. I don't know a farmer without it. Certainly down in Devon, this is one of the jokes about Britain. Brits don't have guns. Go down to Devon, you'll get overtaken by quad bikes bristling with firearms.
I started to say, when I would run off-road, a lot of times, some of the farms, it was quite often you'd hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
Or they were taking care of vermin or whatever. So, yeah, it's a bit of a misconception on that about no guns in the UK. It's just much more regulated.
Well, there's also a deer problem in the southwest, a bit like in the US.
Yeah.
And most people will only use a 7.62 or a 308 on a deer, so that's...
Yeah, but there in the UK, people kind of get all kinds of upset when you mention shooting deer and that kind of thing.
Well, not so much shooting them, it's when we hunt them with dogs.
And kind of as a bit of a segue, another little interesting fact that a lot of people don't realize about Europe is that they do eat horse meat.
Yes.
Here, so
pretty much
not
everywhere.
just Malta, but here in
pretty
Europe
much everywhere,
itself.
except for the UK, except by accident in the UK.
Yeah, because there was the Aldi thing where it was...
Or Tesco or whatever it was.
Yeah, but it was in the prepared meals, so when it shouldn't have been. And going from there to rabbits, we put up the thing about the video with the rabbits.
This is the main dish, isn't it? It's the main dish here,
Yes, it is
rabbit.
the main dish
and
here.
Let's be honest, everybody eats rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's better at that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it was kind of funny having to picture the cute little bunny rabbits.
Yeah, not a grey bunny. It had to be a white, fluffy, you want to stroke it and take it home kind of bunny.
You're like, maybe that shouldn't be, not quite the wisest advertising there. But I did see Simon was editing video, and I cannot remember where we were, but it was closer to Valletta. So it was after the Valletta video. So it would have been a little bit in that area, somewhere where you were doing that. And I took the dogs out for a walked around the corner to where the statue was of some priest. I didn't catch the name or whatever. They had the gate locked where you couldn't get into it. And I'm sitting there looking at the base of it, and I'm like, there's like a black and white bunny rabbit on there. Surely that's not a rabbit in there. Anyway, continue my walk to the end of the enclosure where the statue was, and they had a doghouse set up for the bunny rabbit.
Oh, yes, I remember that. I know exactly where that is.
Yeah.
Just round the corner from the Castile agency.
Okay.
Not a big interview tomorrow. It's actually a meet and greet, which is quite common. It's where agency people say, well, what job would you really like to do? Rather than just, yes, I see you've got these skills. Yes, we have a job that requires them. Boom.
But no, it's more of a, what's your dream job? And all that. And
yeah.
Like, one that pays money, that will employ you, immediately? Yes.
Yeah, with a golden handshake up front. That's the kind of job we want.
Oh.
So yes, anyway, there'll be the meet and greet tomorrow, depending on what they say, unless they've got something already lined up, and they've had 3 weeks to get something already lined up.
Yeah.
Then we're already changing our focus Euro-wide, and depending on that chinwag tomorrow, depends on how fast we will probably try to leave the island. Obviously we can go round to Barcelona. Spain has got a lot of up and coming English speaking jobs, and so is the Netherlands, or Holland as it's better known sometimes.
Yeah, because my Spanish is more of the Spanglish version, Mexican, like that, and it's only un poco.
Do you think you're going to get better Tex-Mex there though?
No.
Okay.
That is the food I miss the most when I'm time in the UK. You want to tell them what happened last night, what we saw?
Well, yeah, a couple of things really. We went back to where we've been staying is an open campsite which gets no trouble or bother. There's no amenities there, that's the problem with it. Other than a bathroom which is...
It closes up about 9:30.
And opens at 8 in the morning, so if you're caught short in between, you're in trouble. It's not
I have
great.
found some portaloos for my runs before I go. Yeah.
But we're driving back and I have to turn right and cut across 2 lanes of traffic. And I'm pulling up and Gabby's pretty much half asleep. And there is a bus sticking sideways straight through the wall. And I'm like, okay, that's not right. Something's wrong here. And I couldn't get across the traffic, so I had to move up a bit and go down the side road. And we got out and we started videoing and photographing while I went to the bathroom and stuff. But it was like a comedy.
No health and safety whatsoever. Now don't get me wrong, some countries, UK, take the health and safety bit with the high vis all the time a little too far.
Yeah.
But there were no warning signs, no triangles, no lights or anything warning that the lane was blocked off. And
The police officer put his motorcycle right in front of the coach or the bus
yeah,
and stood next to it.
that was it. And
it's a
he
blind-
didn't show up until after we got there, and they already
It's
had
a
been...
2-lane downhill blind bend.
Yes.
So instead of like anywhere else, a police officer would shoot past, go halfway up the approaching road,
Yeah.
put out a sign and some blue lights
Or some flares or
some
something.
flares
yeah.
and stuff to warn people and then come back. No, that's it. So vehicles were coming around the corner, slamming the brakes on. How there was not another accident is beyond me. But that's what they do.
Yeah.
And no police officer in high vis, and it's dark.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't even know that in out the way police forces in the States when they're not bothered.
They would have actually had
they like to go
flares
home.
out and stuff. Yeah.
They like to go home after the shift in one piece, not via the hospital. Anyway, we started seeing. I'm not going to talk about that French guy.
The supervisor, I don't know if he was with the bus company or whatever. Very arrogant. Very
French. He made smoking look like hard work.
So,
He could walk and smoke and make it look like he's busy.
but yelling out orders and no please, no thank yous, could you do this or anything like that. So anyway, after they got the bus up off the wall and hauled that off,
did you
there
hear
were
me
a
shout?
couple of...
Did you see what he did to me?
Uh-uh.
I shouted at this guy, I says, hey, you need to, because he pulled the bus forward and rested it on, I said, you just want to pull the bus forward another about 8 inches and it'll be fine. And he just went
Yeah.
like that. And then they hit the pole.
Yep.
And it's
And
amazing how
lights
fast he
flickered.
moved then, didn't
Yes, it was. Anyway, Simon, there were 2 guys that were there to help clean up
he? The African guys.
the wall and everything like that, and he was barking orders at them and then just took off, no helping or anything like that. So Simon was a bit frustrated, so he went over, handed me the camera, and I had the dogs, so I had my hands full, and he went over and helped them shift all the blocks out of the roadway and get them to the side on that, which... One of the guys afterwards come up to thank Simon personally, but one thing I found kind of disturbing was he said, said boss, and I'm sitting there like, oh, that just kind of...
These guys were obviously, I would suggest were African refugees.
Yeah.
They were here, and this guy was telling them what to do, and they were calling him boss and all the rest of it. But the way he just treated them, it was colonial racism.
Very much so.
And I mean, the fact that, I wasn't having that.
No.
I'll stand equal, shoulder to shoulder, any man, any colour, any race, except for the bloody... So I can't say that.
No, you can't. Okay, next thing. Shall we tell them about the SDC we had today? We tried a new place today. So,
Yeah.
oh, for the first time
You found it.
in a month. Yeah, I found it the other day when we stopped at the other one that we had been going to. And I'm like, did you know that other one was there? It looks pretty good. Well, so. And the great thing is about these, they're cheap. And they're very filling. They're hot, And that's usually our main meal for the day is one of those, whether it's a slice or the woody with cheese or the burger pie.
It wasn't when we first arrived. It was 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. We've laid off a bit now.
Yeah. Anyway, I got the spicy peas, pastisi, which are just,
I asked what this thing was that I'd not seen before, and it was like this massive pie, and I thought he was going to turn around and say it's like a big apple pie or something, and it's not. It was
baked macaroni.
Baked macaroni cheese pie.
Oh.
And so I said, oh, okay. I had no concept of the size of that thing. We both had to eat. We couldn't eat it, could we?
No, that was over. We ate that over a space of a couple of hours. Kind of nibbling at it. So yes, Oh yeah, good food, and very very cheap. I think that was $1.40. Yeah. So for both of us, that's.
While the situation of our presence here has been turning, you can't be here for this long doing what we're doing and start thinking this isn't for us. Maybe we should be somewhere else. And the island, you start seeing the side of the island you're not supposed, well, most people don't see, and which is probably the real side. And the thing with seeing the underside that you're not supposed to see is things happen. You start seeing more things that happen. You start being aware of things that won't be in the brochure. And Gabby came back to the car this morning from freshening up and doing the usual scrubbing and cleaning teeth, and had just been accosted by a willy wiggler.
A willy wiggler, yes. I don't think you had heard that term before. Because he's like, what?
A willy wagger.
Yeah, got that. So. Anyway, you'll get it when, of course I drove truck for several years, so, you'd occasionally get that with the guys that would drive up and be looking up in the cab and doing that. Of course, they were usually surprised because they were expecting the man to be driving. So, and then they would see me and I wasn't their target audience, so. But this guy was, he walked in, whirling it around.
In the women's?
In the women's toilet. I had taken Elsie with me this time around, and because they're usually kind of laid back about you taking the dogs into the toilets and everything, so
Okay.
I don't want to hold it. I certainly didn't want to hold his. So anyway, he's doing that, and I'm like, you might want to put that way, and by the way, the men's toilet's on the opposite side of the building. So he steps in a little bit further again and continues on, and then asks, did I want to make a bit of extra money? And I'm like, what? And he's like, do you want to make a bit of extra money? And I'm like, at that point, grabbed up Elsie. Elsie jumped up and barked at him, thank goodness. Normally, she's a lot more friendly towards people and, like, oh, yes, happy. But she barked at him, and I'm like, get him, Elsie, go bite him. And I'm like, get out of here. So, yeah, I was not a happy camper, so, yeah. Anyway, so no, I had to ask, was just asking. So, yeah.
One of the things that we've noticed, I don't think they're used to tattooed women here so much, are they?
There are quite a few.
We've seen quite a few,
yeah.
But it's like we were in a predominantly local-only area last night, and you were eyeballed a lot. And the guy actually walked up and said something, didn't he?
Yeah, a nice compliment.
Yeah, it was
said
nice.
He
I like tattoos.
Yes. So, but yeah. Oh, we were in Pretty Bay last night, which I think that made the video that we put up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Is that what they called it?
Well, not the part we were at, but the part where the sand was is called Pretty Bay.
Yeah, no surprise. So that sort of
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you're going to get that. I mean, it's awful. You're always going to get some creep somewhere doing that. Hell, you know.
Yeah. You
the
get
amount
it
of
a
public
fair
toilets.
bit. Yeah. That was a bit, and for him to continue on when I told him to put it away and go to the other side is
That's,
and then ask if I wanted to make extra money. Yeah, that.
yeah.
My angry smile.
Oh, she was angry.
Uh,
I was like, gobsmacked.
yeah. Oh,
And
I'm
she
just
said,
glad for once I had taken Elsie with me, and like I said, glad she had barked at him. So,
I was seriously impressed with her.
yeah. Good girl.
She doesn't normally do that.
No.
Normally licks them to death.
Yeah. But he didn't know that, so he just heard the bark and me telling him to go get him, bite him. Well done, baby.
So yeah, so that's. I mean, to be honest, I mean, if we ended up in somewhere Barcelona, I mean, it's a bigger city. There's more crime.
More
There's,
likely
you
to
know.
get it there. There is actually very little crime here, and you
Yeah.
can usually walk around by yourself as a woman. Oh, that is something I noticed about.
No, I'm not going to do that. Camera's jerking. Go on.
About Italy, you would occasionally see male runners. We did not see a single female runner, and we were there for what, 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
You know,
And yet here,
and here there's women runners everywhere, men and women.
cyclists.
Yes,
walkers,
and they're out by themselves, and that's
middle of nowhere.
I do love
Middle of
that.
town.
Yeah. I run this morning. I went up to Milia, all the way up to the
Did you?
church. Yes, this time around. And you know all those stairs and stuff that they got up and stuff. I went up and down those. I didn't make it all the way up the hill running, so I got about halfway up and then had to switch to a run walk. So I would go walk to the lamppost, run to the next, then did that to the top of the hill, and then got to those and did that. And I saw a Starbucks sign. There are no Starbucks on Malta.
There is Costa coffees though. There's more than one.
Yes, but I have Starbucks gift cards, and I don't have Costa ones.
But there's Costa coffee. Didn't see a Starbucks actually.
I don't think we saw one at all the entire trip.
Yeah.
Once we left the UK, that was it.
Saw a sign to one in Germany, but we missed that.
Yeah.
That was that big junction, and we should have pulled off. And I said, "Oh, we should have pulled off at that services." And it was a monster.
We could have gotten a free meal there. Thanks to my swag bucks vouchers.
But we stopped with Lidl, and
Yeah. Lidl is amazing. So Lidl is saving our lives with the water and the tea. Oh, we're now on Quora, Quora, which is quite interesting. So, which I answered a question on there about bringing dogs from Malta to the UK. So that.
we need to do a video on
So
that.
we need to do a video on that because the dogs did come from me from the US to the UK, and then of course they traveled from the UK to Malta with us. And somebody had posted up an erroneous thing about the quarantine, and that's no longer so. Car. And we'll wait, and like I said, we need to make another video, so completely separate video about that once we get everything all sorted out, all our info and everything. Yeah.
We do, because there's some pitfalls,
Yes, there are some pitfalls.
and none less than the rip-off that the quarantine people or the animal people do at Heathrow.
Apparently they don't do that all the time. They'll just try that on every so often.
It's big money.
It is, yes.
They
tried to-
generate thousands in a day.
Yeah. I think we probably got enough for today. Yeah.
She don't like being a skinny yank.
Really?
Us Brits are fat, see?
Oh,
It's true.
not all.
Except for
But-
Florida. What?
Per capita, I think y'all have surpassed the US now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all that
That's not
fast
a
food you give us. It's all your fault.
Got nothing to do with the fish and chips and
Absolutely not. We were skinny before.
And y'all seem to have embraced KFC far more than what we have. I see KFCs more here on Malta and more in the UK than you do in the States. Plus,
Yeah,
then
it
again, we
is-
got Popeye's chicken, which is much better. Not any healthier, but it's much better.
You don't have
Red beans and rice.
They still don't have a Whataburger here, do they?
No.
No. Don't have a Whataburger really anywhere except for...
So anyway, shall we say bye?
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.
Would you like to see my armpit?
No. Uh-uh.